Yo, and welcome back to the Black Gay Perspective. I'm one of your co-hosts, Richard, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Misha.
Hi!
And we have our special guest,
B Money Jenkins.
Y'all, last time seeing y'all for just a little bit. But we got a good show for y'all tonight. Like the topics that we're gonna talk about, I'm excited to talk about them because they're things that we've been talking about. We realized that we want to provide some like working definitions on some stuff, talk about some pop culture stuff like we always do. But the topics are gonna be really good.
Yeah, you gonna throw your Vaseline and wanna fight us in the comments, and you want you gonna
just don't hit me in the face. That's all I got going for me right now. Just don't hit me in the face.
You can hit me in my titty, but not my face.
Yeah, not my face. That's all I got going for me. My whole waist. Yeah. Hit me in the back of the head, knock me down, walk away.
Unpopular opinion, right?
But seriously, we would like you all to join us in these discussions in the comments. Like we're gonna read the comments. We may follow up on something. We bring your comment to the floor, but we want you all to, like, as we have these conversations, let us know what you think in the comments and share your experiences.
And we read the comments thoroughly. Mm-hmm. So please like, subscribe, and send me a message.
And on April 10th, we celebrated National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. And so, as most people, HIV is still a public health issue, though in certain communities it's well managed and is taken care of. But what we do know in Black and Brown communities, and LGBT communities, and amongst young people, HIV still has we have a lot of work around prevention and getting people tested and getting people who are living with HIV to be accessing, medication and care. So on April 10th is a day, it's called National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. It's a day where we celebrate and acknowledge the impact of HIV on young people.
We celebrate it.
We celebrate the work that people are doing.
Don't celebrate the dope.
No, we celebrate the work.
Don't celebrate the raw dog.
Don't celebrate.
No, that's what. Anyway, we celebrate the work that has been done around HIV around young people in general, but we highlight the impact that it particularly has around young people. Mm-hmm. We don't realize most of the time we live in a generation where now all young people live in a world where they don't know a world without HIV and AIDS.
Right.
And so that's a very real thing. And what's even scarier is that 50% of young people who are actually living with HIV don't know that they are because they are not getting tested. Wow. They haven't been tested. They're not talking about 50% of young people who are actually living with HIV based on statistics don't know that they have it because they haven't been tested.
Baby, go get tested.
Yes.
Even if it is a negative status, positive status, still strap up. Take PrEP. They have so many other preventions now. Mm-hmm. When we were coming up, it was just an epidemic and you just had it, you died, you dealt with it. Family members dealt with it. Mm-hmm. Now they have PrEP. They got large condoms, small condoms. You get what I'm saying?
They even trying to make a vaccine.
Yes.
They're about to come out with
injectables.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Take your PrEP. I've been on PrEP for 7 years. Mm-hmm. 7 years. And I have not had a side effect. Even though I'm on PrEP, I still, your Magnum Daddy. Mm-hmm.
No, Jesus Christ, not that. Really, Richard? How you doing?
It is what it is.
We gotta talk about it. But seriously, beyond that, it really is about not just, like you said, highlighting and educating young people, but it really is about the adults in and young people's lives, like politicians and schools that are not allowing these conversations to happen. The negative impact that it has on young people are things like the end result could be HIV if we don't talk about comprehensive sexual education. We don't talk what it means for a boy to like a boy. If we don't have those conversations, or a girl to like a girl, or someone to be trans and don't know their identity, those impact can be something like HIV. Like that can be an end result of that. So we highlight that day to bring the voices of young people and their lived experiences. And we also challenge those people who say that they are serving young people, who are, say that the kids are our future in our generation. We challenging them to look, these are the statistics. These are the things that are dealing with, and young people are dealing with transphobia, racism, homophobia. All of those things are driving those numbers higher. And so we celebrate that as we go into these conversations that we're going to have today. Because oftentimes the issue that we're talking about, a lot of people in our community are people living with HIV, and particularly young LGBTQ. The message is we need to have these conversations with young people. The reality is that 57% of new HIV diagnoses are between the ages of 13 and 34.
13?
That's the youngest people in America.
13?
13 and 34. That 57% of all new HIV diagnoses are between the ages of 13 and 34 years old. So that means that there's a conversation. That's the youngest people in America.
Do y'all know when we were 13, we were worried about you remember the hose pipe? You used to take a shower and jumping rope. Well, me jumping rope and playing on the skateboard and riding a bicycle.
Yes.
HIV was the furthest thing from my mind.
The internet had a dial tone.
Dial up. Oh my God. MCI was still a phone company.
That's sad.
What? 13?
That's why if I have children, I don't want them on Instagram. I don't want them on
But we can't shy
platform.
away from it, though. The idea is that the messages have to be, like, the conversations have to be.
Oh my God. What little bit of it I got left?
Yeah.
It's okay, yeah. But most people don't know that, right? They just think that it's going away and that young people shouldn't be having sex. But when we have that mentality, these are results.
Well, let me ask y'all this.
What we get.
Let me ask y'all this crazy question. Before we go to commercial. Do you think PrEP enhanced the raw dog?
No, I don't think it enhanced. I think
So. You
I don't think so.
I don't. I'm on the fence.
I think
okay if you don't.
I'm on the fence.
I think it's based off of what people are saying. As someone who works in public health and has worked in HIV for more than like 10 years now, the results is that people are now having condomless sex more or less than they were before because of it. People are getting tested more, which means that people are showing up to get tested more
because you can't be on PrEP.
You can't be on PrEP without going to see
right. Every 3 months.
A lot of people don't even go to the doctor on a regular that they don't get tested. So because they're on PrEP, they're engaged in healthcare at large. So now the numbers are going up of that amount of people getting STDs because they have to get tested. Now,
so they can roll.
Okay. Yes. Okay. They probably are already doing it. It's not the PrEP itself that's making people raw dog more because people were having.
No, what I guess I'm saying if like me, I've been on PrEP for 7 years. I guess the conscious decision. The unconscious decision. I don't have to use a condom because I'm okay. But what if he's not okay?
Right, just like the story that we just read about the explosive one. He was just like, "Oh, let me go get a condom." Oh, you don't have to.
Right.
Why? Why not?
It's not the question you ask. It's the voice. It's the levels of the voice that did it for you.
It's like, come on, like I mean, I understand you work in public health, but you could. It also, I feel like. You know, when I'm taking
personal choice though,
right? But also when especially if I'm taking a survey to get $200, I'm gonna lie, make it seem myself. You know, I don't. You know, it could be lots of different factors. You know what I mean? So I don't think that necessarily will be necessarily honest about the situation. But when you're in the heat of the moment, you're gonna want it, and it's not like. And I definitely do think that if you taking PrEP and if they tell you, oh, it's gonna take 99%, you know, it blocks all da.
Yeah,
but I don't think that makes it more. Yes, it may empower someone to do it, but people were having raw sex before all these things existed. It's just natural. That's what people naturally do. So I don't think it uptake. It just gave people empowerment to do so. But anyway, check it out. Find more information. You can go on, type in National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. Give you all the information that you need, resources and everything like that. Conversations like this on how to have them with young people.
Get tested.
Do that.
Yes.
For everything. Chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea. What the other stuff is? Say it. Who?
Delusion.
You're tested for all of it. You're tested for all of it. And we'll be right back with the Black Gay Perspective.
Period.
And we are back here at the Black Gay Perspective. We just had a very good conversation about National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. And so we're going to go into our next topic or topic of discussion. We talk a lot of issues around trans identity and trans bills and anti-trans this and anti-trans that. You probably saw some spicy conversation where you saw us go at it about trans-related things. What we find that is important is that we actually provide a working definition of like what transphobia is and what it shows up as, right? Because it's not as simple as people think it is, right? I think a lot of people believe that transphobia, they're like, oh, I'm not afraid of trans people, but it's like maybe that's not what transphobia is. It's not just about the fear. It's about transphobia is a little bit more deeper than that. It's about the societal impact that it has on trans people. So according to the Webster's Dictionary, transphobia is defined by the dislike of or strong prejudice against transgender people. So nowhere it is that say like directly fear, But like, I know fear can lead to prejudice, which can lead to dislike, right? All that things can bred those things. But it's not just like I'm afraid of trans people. It's about, it says the dislike of or strong prejudice against trans people. And furthermore,
can we look at prejudice?
Yeah, prejudice is the idea that you have preconceived notions, ideas, and thoughts about something or someone before you get to actually know.
So, I disagree. Let me look at
prejudice.
So you're taught to be transphobic.
Yeah, these are ideas that come from things that they could come from your ideas of things that you've learned, and so you believe those things and you carry it out.
So you can dismantle that and rework that and say, I met a trans person and everything that I was taught was totally wrong.
Yes. But people have to know that they are being transphobic for that to believe.
Right. You have to diagnose.
A lot of people just believe that when someone says you're transphobic, it automatically you're wrong and you're this, that, and the third. No, like transphobia is not just acted on by just one person. It's a societal issue. Like the society at large is transphobic. It's not a space where trans people can feel loved, supported, and live their life best. It's society at large. It's a transphobic place.
Do you think?
I'm going to provide a little bit more definition based off this website that says it's called transactual.org, based out of the UK. They say, what is transphobia? The core value underlying all transphobia is a rejection of trans identities and a refusal to acknowledge that it could possibly be real or valid. Transphobia has no single or simple manifestation. It means that it's not just one person or one thing, or it shows up this way. It's not simple. It's very complex. It is a complex, and it can include a range of behaviors and arguments. The consequences of transphobia is that trans people struggle to live openly and comfortably in society. An ultimate outcome may be to erase all trans people as a visible class within our society at all. And so, though it may seem like trans people, and I'm inviting people that are sensitive and they care, they worry about anything, it's not even just about you as an individual. I think that's what we got to think. It's not about you and that one person have a conversation that makes that one trans person feel away. It's about that has a ripple effect in society, and it shows up in politicians, and shows up in schools,
and Republicans,
and clubs beyond that. So transphobia is not just about the individual, right? I think that's what the difference is. Not about an individual interaction. It's about how the things we talk about against trans people or prejudice we put against trans people, how that really could just
prejudice does not. First of all, I just looked at that. Prejudice does not mean prejudice means an unreasonable or a unconscionable. It's actually on Google. That's what it means. It's just because you hear the word, or that means you have no reason for it. People that are you said dislike. People that they may not necessarily they don't have no reason to dislike transgender people. They just maybe not agree with it, and then how can they be transphobic if they're saying prejudice when they have a reason as to why they believe that.
And that reason could be prejudice, though, friend.
Now, how can I be if they have prejudice? It literally means unreasonable. Unreasonable means that they have no reason as to why. If they're saying that they don't believe that a trans person is
born male wanting to be
right,
female.
if they believe that because of biological science and that there's XX chromosomes and there's XY chromosomes and there's XY, that's a reasonable reason. That's the reason why they would come back at you. It's not saying that they're disrespecting you. It's not the saying that they're not going to respect you for what you want to be called. They're just saying that they just don't agree with it. They didn't say they dislike you as a person. So that doesn't mean that they're transphobia. And I think that's the problem is when anybody disagrees or combats it, then automatically the word is disagree, and then people don't understand that they're automatically transphobic when they just necessarily don't share the same views.
Okay, well let me
whether we agree or not, that's the definition of transphobia. Prejudice is a part of that, and prejudice could have a reason sometimes. Some people justify why they don't like black people. That doesn't mean that they're not racist.
Yeah, but if they and now that would I could be prejudiced, and I don't know anything about the culture. I never met nobody, and that's prejudice. I can say I don't like Asian people, and I never hung around them. I've never done anything to me. They never, I just may not like a video or something of that nature, and I never really look at their views. I just don't like the way that their face looks or something of that nature. I don't like their food. I think it's weird or something. That's that's prejudice because they have no reason. They just look at you and be like, I don't like. That's prejudice. I think that's prejudice. But if I have a reasonable something behind it as the reason why I disagree with you, that's not prejudice because there's lots of people that have the same view. So I don't think that a lot of people are transphobic.
So what word would you use?
I just think that they're disagreeable.
Okay.
You can agree to disagree.
Yeah, but I also think that
Just don't be disrespectful or hateful, or not try to be understanding, or try to listen to them, or try to come from their point of view. You can have your point of view, but
I think when this issue comes up, it's nothing that you can read or nothing. No statistics can make you understand.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Because it's different layers.
It's different layers. It's too complex.
Yeah.
I don't think for me and I think if me and you have an intelligent conversation and you will leave and say, you know what? I never thought that I would talk to a trans person and learn so much from them, because what most people are going after the stereotypes. They're on drugs, they're prostitutes, they steal, they can't keep a job. That's when you talk to, especially in our culture, that's where their mind goes as soon as and when you dismantle that and go in and say, no, I never done that. No, I never said that. No, I don't live like that. They're like, oh my God, you are human. And I think we twist the word to give it a definition or whatever, but everything does not have to have a diagnosis. Everything does not have to have a statistic behind it. Some things you have to just knock on somebody's door and say, baby, let me meet you on where you at. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And we always looking for a definition, or going to a doctor looking for a diagnosis. Take a pill for this. Go take a. Sometimes it's not that hard. Sometimes it's the simplest thing in the world just to say hi. My name is Anisha.
And I think that we had that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just don't. It's not as simple as a one-time conversation. It's not as simple as like a definition. The idea is that transphobia is more than just our individual thoughts, right? Like, I think that's where the conversation is coming from. We may individually have our own experiences with a trans person or our own ideas or whatever, but at large, we can agree that the world and society at large is not a safe place for trans people to be.
I can agree
and
with
so
that.
every small thing, though it may seem small to us, and we think they just doing too much and everybody or whatever, they are literally fighting for their lives. So as soon as we say one thing that goes against the reality, that's what sticks to me about the definition, is when we say things that invalidates their reality as humans, that can ripple effect on people.
You just can't disagree. Yes. When people disagree with you, they cannot be labeled as transphobia. Just
right. That's true.
And that's what's excessively being done.
Yeah.
And that's what devalues the word, is because they do that so much.
And if you have any comments, any questions, any thoughts, any opinions, anything, please send us an email, write us, like and subscribe, and we'll be right back with the Black Gay Perspective. Bye.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Black Gay Perspective. If you're just joining us, we have some good dialogue, some good conversations. We just had a good conversation about transphobia. And now we're going to move into our next topic, which I think is another hot topic in our community. About black LGBT celebrities who have white counterparts or white partners or dating white people and stuff like that. So I know you all let us know in the comments too. I've seen a lot of it on social media. A lot of people I know a lot of my friends talk about it a lot too. We kind of divided in that space, but I want to know,
it's like a silent conversation.
How do y'all feel about, Misha, how do you feel about black LGBT celebrities? And what it seems to be, I think to most people, is like, it seems like as soon as they get on, it's like, oh, you got a white partner, or like, that's kind of the perception of it all. Like, what are your thoughts?
I have 3 different compartments. I think when they make it, they go to their white counterpart because they're more business educated, more business minded.
Okay.
I think that they show them, this is what you need to do. You need to learn to invest. You need to learn you need to buy a house. You need to get your credit up. And go with me.
Okay, I'm rolling.
I also think that
I'm at the gas station.
I also think that when they go get these white counterparts, these people kind of stick with them through the kindergarten stage. through. I think with us, bitch, if you don't make it in 2 years, I'm out. Cause bitch, I need my lace front. And bitch, my lace front. I think they don't want to associate with that ghetto. You get what I'm saying?
Girl, how dare you?
These are not the views of.
Right, I'm like, I don't know.
I do. I think that's how they think. I think they turn into businesses instead of people. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. I think even the straight people, they go to the white counterparts. I think they turn into businesses, and that's just my take on it.
Oh,
don't hit me where it hurt me, but don't hit me where it hurt me.
I got a different view. Okay. So, in my opinion, I think that, like I mentioned before, I think that the black community, the black gay community, I think that we do have a tendency to do, even in our dating situations, it's a lot of, it's not a lot of commitment. It's not a lot of showing that I have interest and I want to be there for you and I want to show you that, or submissiveness or anything of that nature. So they may meet, seeing as our community is still, like I said, in the infantile stages of intimacy and communication and all the kind of things, whereas with the white counterpart, they have been able to be liberated. Not necessarily all, there's still white people that get discriminated against as well.
The majority.
But yeah, they still were before we were able to. Mm-hmm. So I think that they have a more emotional intelligence. So when they get more successful, they will probably, and they have a lot of these black celebrities have a lot that they got to deal with, you know what I mean? And they're not probably looking for the turn up or why you ain't calling, so they're willing to deal with someone. Like Michael Sam, perfect example. Remember, everybody was outraged about that, and Michael Sam, but that white boy was with him in the beginning, other kind of stuff. And I also think that there aren't enough black celebrities that are out or are willing to out themselves to be able to be, too. So and when if you are in the certain limelight and you are going through these things, the most important thing is, especially when you're going out, is you're trying to find somebody that's going to have that level of intimacy. And I think a lot of men lack a lot of intimacy. Also, I think that the third reason is I think that a lot of these white men fantasize and over-sexualize these black men, and because the black men don't necessarily get it from their own community, they're just like, fuck it, I'll go where I'm accepted. I'll go where I'm getting the love and stuff that I want, and we can do stuff together because usually the community, it's not all, but it is a majority. I mean, they just want to fuck. They don't want to commit. They don't want to go on dates. They don't want to do nothing. Meanwhile, the white boy is pulling out the roses. He's fucking. He's sitting down with you, trying to help you build your credit up. Yeah. He's trying to do things to help you improve your life. But the black people.
Well, let me ask you this before the question turns to you, Richard. When it goes bad, when the white boy calls the police and has scars on his neck that the black guy done choked him, when it goes bad, we be the first ones to run to their black person's defense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we gonna have to just let them save themselves. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? We be the first ones. We'll reprimand you. Now you shouldn't be dating no white woman or no white man, but.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
But you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And then we be the first one to save them. And then when they get whatever they need, they don't look back for us.
No, they don't.
They keep their head on the prize and they keep going the other way on the other side of the track. And that's what pisses me off. No, I'm not in Hollywood. I don't see Eddie Murphy or people of that nature every day. No, but there are some people that are openly gay, that are nice, attractive, that's got their stuff together, and you look over them for the white counterpart.
It's not even Hollywood. That's at Blake's. Here in
Atlanta. So what do you think about it?
I actually agree with a lot of stuff that y'all just said. It's very complex. Like, I think, is it ideal? No. Like, of course I want to see black people together with other black people. that's what I want. But I also at the same token, like, I'm all about all black people being free, right? And a part of freedom is them being able to choose the type of love that they want to have.
Right.
And so I support whatever that looks like. But as long as you are conscious of the fact that, like, we know the relationship between black and white people, like, if you're conscious of that and you want that love, and we know what it looks like historically, like what it means for black people against white people, if that person is, if the black celebrity is like clear about that and they're doing their best to do that, like, I support you. Is it ideal? No. I mean, I would want to see it look differently, but I also support, like, you're a black person. Like, if that's the love that you want, I don't think it's fair. Because some black people, and I don't agree with, we reprimand them because they want to be with black people. with white people. Not really understanding that, it comes off as like it's wrong because we really don't know if these people might actually truly love each other.
That person.
Right, they may actually do it. And are there situations when that's not? No. Are there situations where white people are fetishizing over black people? Indeed. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like, we can't, and y'all know I don't like blanket statements, because then what about that black guy that's really in love with the white guy, and so that love is really means something, though, because it didn't work over here, or historically it didn't work there, then this person's love gets
and what if he he grew up in an all white neighborhood, right. Or what if he was, that's all he knows. That's all he knows is really, but I think that it's more so. I think it goes a lot of different factors, but I do know that majority, because I've frequently visit Blake's and stuff, and we have conversations, and I'll see this fine ass black man, and I'll be like, well, he ain't paying no attention to them, and it usually comes down to they don't feel, especially if they're a top black man, it's always coming down to submission, and if they're a bottom, they don't feel appreciated and they don't feel really wanted or by them, so they can. But
that can go. That's a slippery slope because it's complicated because you can find somebody that can cater to your need. You don't have to go. I'm no prejudice. I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. But you can find somebody that can cater to your need in your own community.
Well,
but it's okay if you can't.
Right, it's okay.
Right. So, but yeah, we want to know what y'all think about this topic as well. Like, what is the whole thing about black LGBT celebrities and dating white people, and not even just gay men, but like there are black lesbians who are dating white lesbians too. So let's add y'all comments about that.
Or Asian, or others,
And we'll be right back after this.
All right. You honestly believe that your music sounds?
Yes, truly, wholeheartedly, I'm fucking truly.
My hand is. They don't know what they do.
Bitches don't want to make music, they want to fight. Which one y'all want to do? Because I'm all about all of it.
You already know what it is. RB3L, Rebel, of course. It's high-key, the most decorated artist on this platform.
Said you was gonna piss on this man.
No, had no problem with that. I was gonna piss in his mouth.
I know.
And I wanted him to get the heck of me.
Piss in my mouth!
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Once I get negative, then we can take it out. I will beat you.
I don't fuck with none of you guys.
But hold on, let me get something to drink.
Alright, y'all, welcome back again to the Black Gay Perspective. We're here having some pretty good conversation.
Yeah, spicy.
It's real spicy, as I would say.
So hot I can't even talk.
That cock.
Yeah, and I'm saying meat pistol. That took me out, y'all.
That's what we're gonna say. No, we don't use that word
We
in
don't.
this space. Not on the Black
No.
Gay.
Yeah, we don't use cock.
What we use?
Dick! Not, girl. Dick and nut.
Yes.
Not love seed, honey.
But,
Don't
again, we want to invite you.
come in me.
Whoa.
That's what we say over here. That's what we do over here.
The views?
The price just went up.
Right. I'm sorry.
We want to invite y'all to the comments and really let us know what y'all feel about these topics that we're talking about. I want to dive into something. I think this is a conversation that's been happening for a while now, at least within the last 5 or 10 years, particularly in the black. I don't really see this much. I think we all can agree as much in the white gay community, but in the black gay community, we know this term, no fats, no films. And it's talking just particularly like about those two things, but it dives deeper into like preference and like masculinity and femininity and top and bottom, this and that. Like it encompasses all of those kind of like preferences or prejudice that we have against our people in our community and how we navigate dating and love and sex within the realm of that. And so, again, we want to invite y'all to the comments to let us know what are your thoughts around that. But I want to ask us to think about is this a detriment to it? Like, there's no fats, no films.
Let me ask you a
question. Is there a detriment to it?
Let me ask you a question.
But I asked mine first. So go ahead.
Okay, if you go out, I'm gonna give y'all a scenario. If you go out and you see this masculine guy and you're like, oh, I like him. I like his swag. I like everything about him. And you like him. I think I know your answer, so I'm gonna ask you. You like him. I think I know your answer. And y'all get home, y'all kissing, he grabbing you like you want to be grabbed. His voice is deep. Yeah, he's slanging you around. I think I know what you about to say. And when he takes his clothes off, he has on some fishnets and a G-string. But this I
go to the bathroom.
But this was the man that you seen him and you initially liked him. He was masculine on the outside. So what is it? The underwear that turns you off? The fact that he has the underwear on?
Kids clothes. Olivia Pope. No, I can't.
What about you?
Sit on my way.
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't do nothing for me. It does something, but I don't necessarily. I mean, will my mindset change like a little bit about like, oh, I saw him in this particular light. And he showed up in this way, and then he did this. And it's not going to be an immediate turn off. The thing that will turn me, it's not about, oh, you present masculine and then you have feminine quality.
In the bed.
For me, it would be more so about, like, what drove you to try to, like, hide that? Or, like, are you being real? Or, like, are you being whatever? Okay. But aesthetically looking at it wouldn't turn me off. No. But I understand my perspective around sex and the way
I had a guy that did that to me. Let me ask both of y'all this. Do you think that since you fall under that moniker, I am a strict bottom, I am a strict top, I'm verse. Do you think once you put that concept into your mind and live out that concept, do you think that strays your way? Because that's the same thing as no fats, no film. I'm top. I don't want to talk to a bottom. I'm verse. I'll talk to both.
That's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Definitely not. Because if I don't sexually enjoy ass like you do, if I enjoy being penetrated, it's different if I would say something along the lines of I don't want you to have any feminine trait. I don't want to be able to kiki with you. If you say girl or this or any of that kind of nature, I don't mind that shit because I can be able to mess with. That doesn't mean that I'm not necessarily attracted to you, or I can still, enjoy myself with you and still be attracted to you. I just am attracted to highly, which gets me the most.
But do you think that plays a part in it? Do you think when you already have this said to live, I'm a bottom, and you don't think that?
No, just because I'm a bottom,
I don't think you do.
Just because I'm a bottom, and I don't want to top. Does that mean that I'm playing into this narrative?
No.
And that's what I prefer.
I do think we associate top, bottom, and verse with masculine, feminine. That happens, not necessarily explicitly, but I guess there is a connection.
In every instance,
a lot of the controversy around the no fats, no femmes is not about people having individual, from my perspective, people having individual preferences. I don't think that's the problem. It's very much so like how I feel about the whole trans thing. I think people can have their own ideas about whatever you want, but when you have to say things out loud, words have power, whether you recognize them or not, whether you think you meant them or not, or whether people internalize things. So when I go on apps and I may not be as much self-confident in my sexuality or my expression of masculinity or my expression of femininity or my body or my size.
Right.
When I'm reading through profiles and I see people say no fats, no films, it's either going to deter me a couple of ways. It's going to be like, oh, I'm just not going to do nothing. I can't have nobody. Or it's going to be that situation where I'm going to show up and pretend to be the opposite of that, so that you can like me, and then that's a detriment.
In hopes of
that's a detriment to our community.
Exactly, and it's like in hopes of, okay, if I show up, if I just catfish basically this person, and I show up and they may be that horny, they're just gonna accept it and go and go.
Because I watched.
That happens more.
So the question still remains: is it a detriment to the community? Is it pushing us 10 paces back because we don't get to know that fat or that film?
Yeah, I think you don't get to know the fat or the femme, and it's the way that you approach and the way that you deliver your preference. When you, especially, and it's a difference. It's a difference if let's just say if I'm out at the bar or if I'm out at the club or something of that nature, and I can easily see somebody that is acting out and is yes, Miss Mamas, yes, this, yes, I'm just not going to talk to you because that's not my preference. I don't even have to say that. I'm not going to be like, you're feminine. Have a great day. I don't have to, but it's on these applications, and that's why I said social media is really
it has a negative impact in another way too, because like if you're not a person, I have preferences, but within fat and film is not like a preference thing for me. But if you look a certain way, so like I'm tall, slim, attractive looking, that perception of that people like me that look like me in our community who has that no fats, no film, you're not going to talk to me, I have to deal with the ramifications of that because of what they see outside of or what someone else who may look like me to have my same body type or approach or swag,
and somebody might not come to you.
They might not come to me because they think that they cannot approach me. I've had conversations with people, I would never I didn't think you would approach me or whatever. So there's multiple lenses. The way that people pronounce these preferences has a negative impact.
So what do you want them to say on their profile? What do you want them to say? I'll take anybody when you come to the door. If I don't like you, I'll just close the door in your face.
No, just tell me who you are, what you like to do, or just tell me about you.
You can say what you like without saying what you don't like.
I have to disagree, y'all. I think if I'm on Jack Grinder, Scruff, wherever, and I see no fats, no films, I fall into the category of a film. They got 100 more profiles. I just scroll up. It doesn't deter me, or it doesn't make me think that it's taking the community backwards. I just think that we're so. I want you to be this, and this. And I think that's what I think is affects.
But also at the same time, if I'm on Jack and I see you and you're wearing, and you're in your full glam and all the other kind of stuff, and I'm a person that doesn't like Fems, and I can see the tiles, and I'm just not gonna go.
I'm just not gonna click on and try to find out your age.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we can talk to each other too. Like I think we don't. You saying that it's.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
We shouldn't. It shouldn't necessarily be a billboard of everything.
And you can go back. Yeah.
We should at least be able to have a dialogue with each other, and then you can express to me, like Bryson was saying, like I don't like this.
Yeah, but we can be friends. We gotta have a
dream. Have to always be like this is all I want. I think.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
And we miss our connections.
Another thing for me is for me because I like thicker guys. I like people with dad bods, and that kind of thing. And then it's reversed for me because I'll see people that they'll see me and think, oh, he's not going to talk to me because he's insecure because he's used to seeing no fats, no films, this and this, and I'm sitting up here trying to talk to you. You just, you know what I'm saying, and you're not trying to. You know what I'm saying?
So many different angles it shows.
Okay, so the footnote of this is it's not the no fats, no films. It's the insecurities that come behind it.
Yes.
I think what we're saying is the presentation of the preference, right? Preferences has no issue. Like I think we all have preferences, but it's all about the presentation of it all. Like you don't have to you can say what you like without saying what you don't like. Like I say those things on my profile all the time, but no one will come on there and would ever feel like, oh my God, he ain't never gonna talk to me, or he don't like fat people, or he don't like femme. I say what I like, but I don't have to say it in a way that offends other people.
And I think it's
and then expect people to respect you, and then be surprised when someone's catfish you. No shade. Like when you make statements like that, and you know we live in a society where people are vain and people want to show up and be a thing. You cannot be surprised when you make statements about no fat people, don't be feminine. If you got a twist, if you're a little bit gay, you this like, and then when people show up and act a certain way. After you said that, you gotta also be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much for parent, honey.
It's just gonna think to yourself, having those type of preferences, if you will, or like making those type of statements, it could possibly, you could be missing out on a major connection. It could be the love of your life. And that's something for us all to think. Now,
because this boy's got everyone,
regardless of not, like, you can have your preference and you deserve to have your preference, but like, if we all talking about love and being connected and building families and having that true sense of love, just be open-minded to ask yourself, like, hey, am I missing out? Can I be missing out on something?
That's why I'm gonna go get me one of them blow-up dolls out of Southern Nights. I think they're $159. So anybody donate $159 to me. It's right to.
It's only $159.
Only $159, and you blow it up. Yeah, but I'm gonna ride that bitch to. I'm gonna ride him over the sunset. So,
I'm gonna just deal with niggas and they crazy shit.
I just want to say one last thing. I think I think that also maybe, and this is another subject, is I think that people need to know dating app etiquette.
Yes.
We need to tell you
that should be one. That should be one.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank y'all for indulging us in this topic. We want to again hear what you all thoughts or experiences is with this. Maybe bring your experience to the table when we talk about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back, y'all. Thank y'all again for joining us at the Black A Perspective. Again, make sure y'all get those comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with your friends. But until next time, what, Misha?
I don't know. I want to say this though before we go. Me and Bryson, we had a long conversation. We came to a common ground.
We did,
and we love each other. We will not have on our profile no fats, no films.
Yeah.
We are letting everybody in. You have to pay an admittance fee. And I'm so happy you came to see me again for these 2 shows. And I love you. And what we always say, peace.
Peace out.